Word up, dongers, and people who aren't dongers, and you know everything else. We're called the Dongers of Runeterra. My name's Seth Holocron, and we liked it and started up this wonderful Discord and gaming group called the Dongers because we loved Heimers, and Heimers is just fucking class. And then they nerfed the shite out of it. But it was the Dongers that we liked. We liked the idea that you could create all these elusive things, and I mean, then it died. It was unstoppable. Then it was unplayable. Then Targon came out. Then they nerfed it again. Then Targon made it actually okay. But now I think we've got a new Heimer Donger deck. So, let me show you what I'm talking about. I think Victor and Heimer are class, right? Because they both want to do very similar things. So there's synergy between the two champions. Okay? Victor costs 4, Heimer costs 5, works well into each other, and if you can get other cards that make other cards to create other cards, and then Heimer making dongers, all of a sudden things like Ballistic Bot and everything else go mad. So let's show you what Victor does. Round start, create this. You get a random keyword every single time. Even when he's leveled, you still get it. So you can get elusive, regeneration, quick attack, tough, any sort of keyword you can think of. That is fantastic. Now, if you've watched a DDD before, you'll know I don't go over 16 spells unless I have to. I need spells for Heimer. I need spells for Victor. So we're using 20 spells and only 17 units. But the fact that Heimer brings you units anyway is fantastic. So getting both champions out is kind of a key thing. And not too bad at all. Remember when he actually levels up, your created cards cost 1 less. That is fantastic. Really fantastic. Especially when you get all the Death Rays, Mark 2 and Mark 3 that cost 1, 2, and 3 mana. And your 3 cost spell that you just did with, say, Hexcore. I'm saying nothing but stuff here. So all the spells are really cheap. And all the other things are all really, really good. So we'll just go through the deck nice and quickly. Mainly P&Z. 100% win rate with this. 6 out of 6. 2 thermal beams. Just take out champions with them. That's what they're there for. Don't waste them on like a pearl. Don't bother your backside. Death Ray, brilliant. Really good. Because when you deal 1 to a unit, you create a Death Ray Mark 2 that does 2 in the top 3 cards of your deck. Once you play that, you get the Death Ray Mark 3, which goes in the top 3 cards of your deck, and that does 3. And then it reverts back to a Death Ray again. That's pretty good. That's excellent. You know you're going to be creating cards, so Death Ray is something you want in your opening hand. Definitely. 2 Rummage if you're just really struggling. Discard 2 to draw 2. You know, you're making cards as you go in this deck, so Rummage, not a bad thing, but not a great thing either. But again, spells, which is pretty good. And when you're running like 23 landmarks and 17 units that include your 2 champions, you're going to need stuff. Oh, sorry, did I not mention this is the final landmark deck? Sorry. This is good. This is actually really good. So, Rummage to kind of pull cards up to kind of help you. This card I'm in love with, and I am loving Augment. This is just brilliant. When you play a created card, grant me 1/0. I've had this guy up to 17/1. That's utterly mad. Utterly mad. Victor reducing the cost of every created card. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. He's got 3 health. He sticks around. He also creates an ignition in hand. That does 1 damage to the Nexus at slow speed. Do you want to see what it looks like? That's what it looks like. Cool. It is a good, great. In fact, it's broken. I'm going to say it. I think Ballistic Bot is broken. It's too damn good. So it is. So yeah, 3 off to be fair. I like guiding touch in this deck. You need to heal early doors, probably your Nexus. You're not going to get an awful lot of things out because if you kind of see here, the only things that we have uh, unit wise, actually, to put down onto the board is Ballistic Bot at 2. Okay, so use your Death Ray. Ideally, you want Death Ray, Ballistic Bot, Victor, and something like Mystic Shot or Goat. That's pretty much what you're looking for. Okay, that's pretty much your opening hand. That's your ideal, and then X, whatever you get for the other ones. But that's in an ideal thing, that's what you would actually do. So guiding touch, heal an ally or your Nexus 2 and draw 1. Card draw, phenomenal. Burst speed, can't be stopped, all great. And Hush also with burst speed, also costing 2. Silence a unit this round. No, take your lifesteal, take your elusiveness and shove it right where the sun doesn't shine. Goodbye, thank you very much is a great card to play early. It used to be that you had to spend more to do it, and it kind of fleeted, and then it just cost more each time. This is the perfect way to play Hush. 2 cost, 1 use, like every other card. Fantastic. Mountain Goat in here because he creates a gem, heal 1, and then grant it 1 power. That's pretty good. If you've got a Ballistic Pot, then it's getting 1 as well. Play the Ignition. Now he's getting 2 because every time that you augment any created card plus 1 power, that's pretty damn decent. 3 Mystic Shots because why the hell not? So many aggro decks at the minute. There's now a Teemo aggro deck. There's so many like burn decks that are coming back into things again. So they are solid cards to be having all having 3s of. So Goat, great, it's a 3-2. Mystic Shot to start doing stuff really well. And to keep people like Heimer alive and to keep Victor alive, 3-1, 2-4, 1-3 becomes a 1-5 and a 2-6. That's pretty damn decent altogether. But what is the landmark? Well, it's pretty easy. It's this new one. Hexcore Foundry. Round start, all players draw 1 card. As a guy who loves card draw in any game that uses cards, I mean, this is it. This is my favorite one already. I mean, it's brilliant. The fact that your opponent draws 1, they all seem to have little tiny things that help your opponent as well. So, like, I will get a 0 cost unit, but my opponent also gets a 0 cost unit. This one, I get a card, they get a card. But the fact that it's all building stuff up, so you're constantly getting cards, it is fantastic to be able to create stuff, and I really like that fact a great deal. So this is the Hex Core, and I think I need to find a name to kind of better because I put in Heimer Victor because I always start with the champions, and then I'll come up with a name before the end of the video. So Hexcore Foundry landmark deck. These are all my landmarks. These are all patch 16 decks. I'm getting them out as fast as I humanly can get them out, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. So Sump Dredger, 4-3, discard a card, draw 1. You can see that we're trying to go for like the guiding touches and all this sort of stuff, including the landmark will get you an extra card just to be able to play. He's solid. He'll kind of stick around there. He's a great looking art. Where you see this guy? He's pretty cool. He could be in Star Wars. That's pretty awesome. So then we're in the Victor. 2-4. Once you've played 8 created cards, he levels. And once he levels, your created cards cost 1 less and he goes to a 3-5. You can see all that hex things. But this is the most underrated thing I've seen. He is guaranteed to play a card that's created because it actually says create once you've played 8 created cards. This is the one that you want the most of. Give him a random keyword and they stack. So say you get regeneration and then it's quick attack and then it's tough and then it's elusive. You get all 4 if he's still alive, which is fantastic, which is why we're running 3 of every single card apart from the last 2. It's really, really good. Like, it's some best figure. Just giving the 2 health to these units. Goat will die. Ballistic Bot you want to keep alive. So now you're looking for something to kind of hold off to the late game. And Victor and Heimerdinger, once it gets past round 5 or 6, you are on a win streak and your opponent is on a disaster zone. So don't forget that Heimer, when you've summoned 12 plus power of units, you know, every single spell, you're not going to get an awful lot. Heimer's not going to really level, but he's giving you all the creativity to bump up your completely busted ballistic bot and go mad with. So that's great. Keep him alive or Victor alive. Specifically, I would go for Victor because I think Victor's the main win condition. Heimer just aids that a great deal. So put them all down to he levels and then kill them off with something better. Mechanized Mimic. Great card. Brand new, obviously with a new augment keyword. On attack, she gets every single keyword on allies. Now, take a step back to about a minute ago. She's a 3/4 for 5 mana, so she's not greatly statted until you realize that, you know, she's already got augment. But if you've put a whole ton of stuff down on Victor and got 3 or even 2 keywords, those keywords stack onto her. And that is superb. Like, that is so good. So you can get Challenger, you know, all the normal keywords that you can have. This helps. It really, really, really helps. So she becomes fantastic. And because she's augment, every time you play a created card on after her, she gets a +1 power. That is fan bloody dabby dozy. I mean, it is so good. You have 3 main things: Mimic, Victor, and Bot, and they will win you the game. And essentially, that's how it is. Hexcore Foundry just helps you draw more cards to create more cards. And if you think about it, when you play the Mark 1, it's only 3 more cards at least until you get to the next one, and then 3 more cards after you do that to get the next one. So drawing cards, brilliant. So that's why Hexcore Foundry is in the deck, and I built it around sort of card draw to be able to get these created cards out to level Victor as quickly as possible. And then, you know, this is the last thing. The most that this deck is actually doing is 5 mana. So if you get to round 10, you can drop a Mimic and a Heimer, or a Mimic, a Sunblessed Victor, and a Goat, and still have 1 left over. And then again, you can go for a Mystic Shot, a Guiding Touch, another Mimic, and a Heimer and a Star Shaping. It doesn't matter. You've got all the things in the world to be able to play at least 2, if not 4 cards from about round 8. Look at, I mean, so much of this deck costs so little. You know, card draw, card draw, card draw. Creation, major card draw. It's actually sometimes really good to put 2 of these down as a 3 mana. It is super, super cheap. Deckcodes. Links to the YouTube channel or Discord or streamer on Twitch. Absolutely everything to do with the Dongers of Runeterra is in the pinned comments. Take the Deckcode, put it in the client, have a go. See what you think. What would you add? What do you think it needs? Is it good as it is? I've played 6 games of this. I'm winning dead easy. Created Victor? Yeah, you're all right. You're okay. You don't need to be forging stuff like you do with Riven. You don't need to be like really trying to keep Zoe alive. I think Victor's probably the best of the 3 new champions. Why don't you try this deck out and find out? My name's Seth Holocron. Thank you very much for watching, and until our next video, Dongers out.